And
What's this?
we are
This is old.
live and in effect.
Yo, yo, yo.
Yo, yo, ma.
Yo, yo, yo. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Does It Get Better? A mental health podcast about talking me out of killing myself. I'm one of your hosts, Neil Rubenstein.
The more positive of the hosts is Neil Rubenstein, and I'm the not. I'm Rich.
Um, Today's topic is piling on.
Yeah. Okay.
Rich, I have a question for you, sir.
Yeah.
Since you're the positive guy. Oh, George.
Hey, George.
You're the you're the pod. He wants to be on the pod today. He wants to be a guest. Um, since you're the positive guy
Mm-hmm.
and like you're the red scholar. Uh, can you hear that? Can you hear that vacuum cleaner?
Not really. No, I can hear George. I can't hear vacuum cleaner though.
Um, how do you how do you get through it when it feels like the universe is piling on?
Good question. Because I recently had to deal with this again, and it was a quick and simple. Hold on one second. Sorry, George. Hey, George. George. Sorry about that. The mailman comes around this time every single day, and that's George's communication. So, piling on, and I think we've talked about it in earlier episodes about how we both kind of don't do well with that sequence of events and things happening, and they all like happen at once, and you just like don't know where to put your brain and your thoughts, so it all just becomes the end of the world. But I've recently kind of adopted a method of thinking and a way to sort through all that stuff with realizing that thinking about what you got. Okay, you got a bunch of stuff going on and it's stressing you out, but do you have the physical and emotional ability to put forth the effort into completing these tasks or getting through them is one thing you have to think about. And most of the time, if it's not an earth-shattering, life-changing thing, you will have the support and ability to get through it on the other side. It may suck getting through it. It may suck having to get all the stuff together or the conversations or whatever. Realizing that you will come out the other side okay, and these things will get done, whether they be difficult to get through, they might be difficult conversations, they might be difficult processes and steps and things. But if you see yourself just for a very brief second on the other side of things, looking back at where you are at now, like looking at yourself in the start position rather than the finish, you're going to look back on those things and be like, oh man, that really sucked, but here I am and things are okay. Now, it's difficult, and you have to maintain that point of positivity as hard as it is, but you have to see that most things that you're confronted with, and as many things as you're confronted with, you have to see yourself on the other side of it. And you can't fix everything at once, which is a big thing that I had to really deal with a lot of my issues, is that I am at my worst when there's a lot of things going on and a lot of stressors and a lot of situations. And in my life, I feel like they all come at once. And I know a lot of people feel that way, but I feel like everything can be like ground level. Everything's going fine. Don't have to worry about anything. And then one like speed bump turns into like major construction. There's like, you can't get through any of it. It's going to take forever and whatever, like thing after thing. Maintaining sort of a focus on, okay, what can I do now for problem A? All right, well, I have to send that paper in or I have to make that phone call. Okay, I make that phone call, make that paper. Part two, oh, okay, someone's not happy with me. Do I address this in a phone call or a text message, or do I ignore it and move on? Part three, oh, my back really hurts and it's this new thing. What can I do? Do I go to the doctor? Do I stretch? Do I exercise? Whatever. Having a plan for each layer of that pile is something that I've kind of learned to do to get through things easier. But yes, you're allowed to feel like it sucks, and you're allowed to feel like however it is you're going to feel, but you also have to maintain that ability to wrangle it a little bit better. And like I said in the beginning, see yourself on the other side of it. Be like, man, I had to refile for unemployment, pay my taxes, go to the DMV 3 times in a month, and feel like I had something wrong with my back and I wasn't able to exercise correctly, all within the last 3 weeks, right? And I maintained a level of like, all right, well, let me take these things one at a time and we'll see how I come out on the other end. Most of the time it's going to be all right. So that's my advice, or that's where I stand on what I do in those like piled on situations. Now
You have to reapply for unemployment.
yeah, because it's been a year. Today's the 1 year anniversary. And last weekend, this past Saturday was the day that your claim expires. They give you you're allowed to be on unemployment for a year. So it expired, and you have to reapply, and they have to like.
Is that everybody?
Anybody who was on that same. So here, I'll give you a quick, because this is a big thing that's been going on right now. Because
in New York too, or no?
Anywhere that has. So there's 3 different kinds of unemployment that are happening right now. There's the regular unemployment, that's unemployment insurance. That's the regular one. Then there's extended benefits, which is a amount of money that the states are given by the government to extend the regular unemployment. And then there's the pandemic emergency fund, or whatever that thing is. And that's the one that people it's completely funded by the government and extended by the government and all this sort of stuff. That's the thing that people can be on if their unemployment expires. But every unemployment claim lasts 1 year, as far as I know, for states or whatever. It lasts 1 year. And then when it runs out, you have to reapply. Being that we're in a pandemic, and being that the government has given all these extra programs and such, most people will be either rolled over onto one of the emergency fund things and extended, or your original claim will be extended. It just kind of depends on, I don't know what the workings are, but I got a lot of information on this within the past 24 hours. You'll either be approved on your original claim and just extended, or you'll be rolled over onto one of these new extended programs that the government is giving each state for unemployment benefits. But the annoying part is that if you were on regular unemployment, which I was just on a regular extended claim, but it still runs out. Your claim is given an expiration date from the day that you get it, right? It doesn't matter. Like it's 365 days, no matter what mode it's in. So the one I was in is one of the kinds that runs out and you have to reapply and you kind of go back to the beginning. Other people were rolled onto like the pandemic emergency relief funds or whatever, that system, and that's automatically rolled over for you. Like the unemployment department will, even if it if you exhausted your benefits or it ran out or whatever, like you used all the money, but now that you just got a whole bunch more money from the government and they extended it till September or whatever it is, people will get automatically rolled over. But me, I wasn't on that program. So unfortunately you have to go to square one and submit an application for unemployment from last year. All of my information is the same. Like nothing has changed. But luckily I was vocal enough on Twitter to the Rhode Island Department of Labor and Training, which is unemployment office. They actually direct messaged me and answered a whole bunch of questions like one-on-one, because you can't make these phone calls and stuff. But the person who was handling their Twitter actually messaged me directly and gave me a lot of information to make it a lot more clear. And it's a lot less worrisome than a lot of people are worried about. Like the people whose unemployment ran out after this year has been up. Everybody's going to it's like a cliff. Like all the people who applied for unemployment a year ago, everybody's in the same boat. Everybody's like, okay, it's been a year. We all have to reapply now. But the person who messaged me said that because of the federal laws and stuff that are in place currently, because we're in a pandemic, the likelihood of anybody getting declined or not reapproved or whatever is basically next to zero. Everybody will get back on a program. It just depends on what they were on originally and stuff. So that was really good news. They were just like, it'll take a week or two, but just give it time. We'll sort it out. And I was like, wow, all right, cool. Thanks for, I mean, the fact that they direct messaged me and actually talked to me like without just giving like canned responses was awesome. So I think a lot of states' unemployment situations are going through the same thing. We're coming to that cliff point. Everybody applied for unemployment this week last year,
Yeah.
So hopefully that helps some people out there. They're definitely out there to help, and I'm sure they're getting inundated with like questions and panic and stuff. But yeah, so shout out to whoever was manning the Twitter today. So back to square one. So that's what I do when things pile on. I ask a bunch of questions and I panic.
Yeah, I don't need to fucking have to reapply for unemployment. This is like, I think that'll be the straw that breaks the camel's back. That'll be it.
Well, the good thing is that do you know if you're on unemployment or if you're on like the pandemic thing? Do you know what you're on?
I have no fucking idea.
All right. Well, figure it out and text me later because I can help you with that. You're not going to be not helped. Apparently, it's a federal law at the moment that nobody can be denied help. So don't worry.
We'll see. It just feels like
it's unnecessary steps especially for unemployment. It's like a very like archaic system where you have to like go through all these extra steps when everything is in such shambles and everybody needs the assistance. It just seems like they could have streamlined systems a little bit better or been a little bit more communicative with people who are on these programs. I was surprised when you said something about they text messaged you information at one point, like
at one point, but not this new thing.
But you're still on it, or are you still receiving unemployment, or
I got last week's, and this week's says it's going out.
Yeah.
It's certified.
Well, yeah. If you certify and you don't get the message saying that you need to reapply, you're all right. So, or that you're,
That was last. It was for last week, though.
Right.
I don't know, man. It just feels like with everything going on, like I don't even know what to be depressed about at this point. like the leg's finally healing, so I'm like, oh, I can finally start to like do stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like I got hit with with that lawsuit. And then there's like a red light ticket from forever ago.
Wait. What lawsuit? I don't know what happened. I mean,
I told you, it was a credit card company.
Oh, okay. Right.
And then like, some red light ticket from forever ago, and then whatever. And then I get sick, and I'm like, oh no, is it COVID? And the rapid test is negative.
Mm-hmm.
And then Kathleen has a rapid test that's negative.
Mm-hmm.
And then Kathleen's PCR test is positive. So then I go get another rapid test. It's negative.
Mm-hmm.
But then my PCR test is positive. It's like, what the fuck's the point of the rapid test?
Yeah.
If everyone I know who's tested positive has had a negative rapid test, like what's the...
There seems to be something wrong there.
So we both have fucking COVID, and it's like, all right, so now it's another 2 weeks before I can do anything,
Right. Right.
and then you know, I'm gonna miss my doctor's appointment, for my leg. So who knows? Like that'll get rescheduled for a week or 2 weeks. So when can I? When's that gonna be? And then how long is that gonna take to recover from? And how am I gonna die from fucking COVID? And then like stuff starts to open back up, but like you know, I mean, I feel like spent my whole life paying dues,
Mm-hmm.
and then like half the places that was giving me work aren't there, like aren't gonna open back up, like they're just gone. A bunch of places that were giving me work are like are like A rooms now. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because like all the all the big name guys, can't find work either, so they're going to like B and C rooms that were putting up newer comics and giving people chances, and
Right.
like helping me pay bills, and like so I can't work those clubs, so it's like like where do I even
Yeah. Where do you start? I know what you mean. Where do you start? Like, where do you focus the?
and it's like I'm like what like I said, like I've been paying dues my whole life, like I'm fine paying dues, but like that it has to become something.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not just milling about in the mire just to for the sake of
Just to
it, you
keep
know what I
doing it.
mean?
Yeah. 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 It's supposed to pay off. It's supposed to get you to another point. It's not. Yeah. The point of doing it isn't to just keep doing it. It's to get to another point.
Like I've worked hard my whole life, like I'm not scared of it. It's just like at some point I'm supposed to get a reprieve, aren't I? Like
Mm-hmm.
like
You will, and we mostly do as people. It's very hard though, and I know where you're at right now. Your level of stress and depression is like it's like peaking. You're kind of on that roller coaster, and you have to put your you have to put them in order. Kind of, you have to. What are you going to focus on? Like what? One of the lessons I've learned is what can I do about a thing, about a worry at this very moment. Having COVID is like that really sucks, and it keeps you at home, and it really, I mean, it basically like disables you from doing anything on the outside. You have to take care of anything via a phone call or a Zoom or a letter or an email or whatever. But if you're able to take care of something, put that on a list, check it off. You're like, all right, I did that. I made my next doctor's appointment. I don't have to worry about it. Yeah, it might be 2 weeks from now, but like, what can I do about it? One of the biggest things to relieve a little bit of stress is to be like, what can I do about it? Nothing. Like, no, I can literally do nothing about it, so I shouldn't worry about it as much as I'm doing about it. Like with the thing with the DMV, which is like a different level of worry, but that's what I was worried about. I was like, I went to the DMV, shit sucked. I paid $500-600, couldn't get a thing done. I needed it done by a certain day, and I had to wait another 2, 3, I think it was 3.5 weeks for another appointment. What could I do about it? I couldn't do anything about it. So like I got home and I like took a deep breath and I was like, all right, well, 3.5 weeks is what it is, and here we go, and putting that on the back burner. I mean, a lot of these things are a little bit different for you because it's like you are looking forward to getting out, you're looking forward to starting your livelihood, and that's a way more difficult thing to just like put on a back burner because that's what's important to you and that's what makes money and that's what that's what you do. That's your living, and that's a tough one because you're trapped, and it's like, and being trapped is such an awful feeling. It's like, what can you do from home that you would really need to be outside doing? And it's almost like you got to be like, all right, well, I think it's like a pause. You put a pause there, but hearing what you're saying about the comedy clubs and getting help and moving forward and stuff, that's like, it seems unfair, and I know you feel it feels unfair, right? Like it's almost an unfairness amongst a lot of other things, but to me that's what it sounds. It sounds unfair, right? Like I would feel like,
it's not unfair. I mean, it's not, it's not fair. Like, there's nothing about it's ever been fair.
yeah,
It's like, it's just like, I don't know. It's just you put, you spend your own money to go places. You do all the bullshit, the showcases, and
mm-hmm.
and all the things to like get someone's attention at a club, and then you finally get through at a club, and like then you deal with like not getting booked for 3 years, and then
Mm-hmm.
like you finally get booked, and then it's like, oh, now the club's shut down, or it's a new booker, or it's a new, like, or the guy turns out to be like an anti-Semite, and he like curses you out on Facebook, and you're like, what the what?
Did that happen? Is that real?
Oh yeah, there's a real piece of shit that
Holy
runs a club in Florida.
oh my god.
And what's funny, I actually, I'm like kind of regretting that I didn't like speak up. I went to this like conference a while ago, and like the guy's partner was on the panel,
Uh-huh.
and he was like, someone, uh, you know, someone complained to me that my partner is a racist, and it's like, well, that's not going to get you booked. And I really wanted to be like, yeah, but if it, barks like a duck and wags its tail like a duck, like,
Oh my god.
don't you have some responsibility to not work with racists, like
Yeah.
known anti-Semites? And like, and I was like, oh, someone else called this guy out on it too, and like, your response is that's not gonna get you booked. Like, thank God your room's a piece of shit. Otherwise, like, this would be devastating. Like, ah,
Florida, man. Yikes.
yeah, dude, real piece of shit. But then like dope rooms like McCurdy's still isn't open, and like, and then a room like Side Splitters that is open and that will book me, like they're like the only game in town now. So there's like, everyone's lined up,
Mm-hmm.
and he's gonna get the guy from New York who like, or is he gonna get just like someone from 3 hours down the road? Like, you know. And then there's like, a room like Penguins that like booked me. Not only did they get hit with the pandemic, but then they like that city, Cedar Rapids, like floods like every 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
So like they got hit with like a flood during the
Oh
pandemic.
jeez.
Like the whole town, like the whole city got flooded. And
Is it called See Those Rapids or Cedar Rapids? See Those Rapids.
yeah, yeah. See those rapids coming through the front door. No, that whole city is like devastated constantly by
That
fucking
sucks.
floods. It's like really sad. Um, they're not gonna open. So, it's just like, I don't know. I have to start over. You know what I mean? Like, I have to like
Mm-hmm.
start at the
Mm-hmm.
beginning again, and like it's gonna take 5 years to get into, you know 10 more clubs, and it's like, I definitely don't have that. I don't have that. I don't have that time or energy, and I just don't have it. Uh,
What is the like the camaraderie like within traveling comedians in like, I'm thinking about it in bands in like,
can't package up.
yeah,
I mean,
can you be three people going to one spot?
nah,
Can you?
like you can get on with like a bigger comedian and open for them.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty ideal in a lot of cases. Like a guy like Brian Regan will
Mm-hmm.
have like his like three or four guys that he like, always brings out, or you know, you know, you know, you know Brian McKenna.
I don't think so.
Uh, My friend Brian, he opens for Jim Brewer. He's like
Mm-hmm.
one of two or three guys that Jim Brewer brings up. It's like so that's beneficial to him. Like he gets into a lot of clubs
Right.
that way and stuff.
But that has to be like,
But it
unfortunately,
has to be
like a
like,
call. You have to get the call,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like you can't be like me, you, and
Right. Right.
Chuck from down the block, and like we all hop in a van and like go on. Like
Yeah.
it's
That
not like
sucks.
that because
Yeah.
there's not, uh, no one's coming to see that.
Right. 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 Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's a little bit of like there's a little bit of like indie show kind of like DIY show kind of vibe, like on this like run I'm coming up to. Like I'll be like, oh, for instance, I'll be like, oh, I want to play Austin.
Mm-hmm.
And like I couldn't find like none of the clubs would book me because Austin's the greatest place on earth now.
Yeah. Of course.
So it's like none of like I couldn't get in at the club. So I just texted or whatever, Facebook messaged, uh, another comedian my level, and I was like, hey, any like indie or bar shows? And yeah, we'll have a show in my apartment complex. Like I'll get the okay from the landlord or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. And so he's just like throwing like a party,
Right. Right.
and it'll be like, and like that stuff works. That's like, you know, that stuff's punk and
Sure.
cool,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. It's a little bit different. Yeah.
yeah, but I mean, that's, I'm not gonna, no, I guess you can make a living doing.
Well.
Yeah, no, I mean, overall, you know what I mean? Like, bump that up with
Sure. I mean, doing like. Yeah.
bar
Yeah.
show the night before, a fundraiser
Yeah.
the day after, some other thing. Yeah.
It does, yeah. It seems like, and it seems unfortunate for a lot, but I mean, what you're talking about is that like it's just this whole starting over point. It's like it's a fucking kick in the ass. And it's like you don't deserve it, I don't deserve it, we don't deserve it. You put this effort into the things that we do and we have passion about, and it's like it seems too like it's more than just like COVID decimated your industry. Like there's no more comedy clubs. It seems like it shifted the like importance of who is performing comedy as well. Like because those little places aren't there, the little guys aren't able to perform as easily. So the bigger names and the bigger money acts or whatever you call them, and it just, excuse my ignorance for it, but it's
Yeah.
just kind of like it seems like, all right, well, we want comedy back, but we also want like the better comedians or the more popular or whatever. Like,
But not even like that. So like with theaters all shut down. So like just like with bands, right? Like if all the 10,000 seat places are shut down, all the bands that normally play to 10,000 people, like they're going to play to like 3,500
mm-hmm,
people.
mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So then all the 3,500 bands got to bump down to 1,200.
Right, right, right.
And the
Yeah, it all
1,200 bands
shifts.
bump down to
Yeah,
550, you know? So then it's like the little guys,
right,
there's
right,
no room for those. They're relegated to back rooms of bars.
right, right. Or the apartment complex thing or something. Yeah,
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 or the apartment complex.
yeah.
So I mean, that's what I'm feeling now is like the, the and then there's like a squeeze too because the very, very bottom, the absolutely free, cheap, and easy, like
Mm-hmm.
those guys are like that, like those like just hanging around places. They're getting like the real minimal stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They're getting like the hosts and the 5 minute spots. And I mean, I don't want those anyway. Like I don't. I mean, nothing's below me, but I'm just saying.
But yeah, you've made your
I'm not gonna pay rent on
right,
those
right.
gigs. So it's like you know you're gonna go to the person that's like there all the time, and again and for the past 14, 16 weeks now, I've been stuck in my basement. Like I
Mm-hmm.
can't do anything anyway. So like I'm just watching the world drive by
Yeah.
basically. I'm like, and like I had to cancel a couple of shows because of COVID at this point, and it's like, can I catch a break? Like just a break? And it feels like it's piling on. It feels like,
Yeah, no, it
and then
definitely is.
I know I'm gonna find out I have to like reapply, uh, and that like whatever, it's gonna be the same problem it was applying the first time, where it took 6 weeks to get it. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, this time, if I can add any positivity to it, now that you've been approved and you're in the system and they have your information, that's like 85% of the process is like existing within the system. All they have to do is look at you were here, you were on a thing, nothing has changed essentially. You're still in the same spot you were a year ago or 6 months, whatever. All right, so this federal program exists. We're gonna put you on that. Here's your, here's your new, your new allotment or whatever it is. So, but again, New York's a different state, so I don't know if everything's the same as far as all that stuff goes, but I assume it's going to be a similar process, all depending on what kind of unemployment you're on, what program you're on.
Yeah, I wish I knew. I wish I knew how to. I wish I knew how to the thing. Um, uh, really, a certified your payment weekly payments. Federal pandemic unemployment compensation.
Yeah, that's the one that gets automatically renewed, and that's the one that got extended till September or whatever. So if that's what you're getting, then you don't have to worry about anything.
I don't have to worry about anything.
Correct. Correct. There you go. See? Boom. There's one thing lifted. I caused a problem and then I took one away. So there you go. We're even. We're back to square one.
Do you like Tom Petty?
Yeah. Yeah. Kinda.
I like that song "Square One" by Tom Petty.
We're having a conversation about the Traveling Wilburys the other day. Just
A lot
about
of talent in that
a
band.
lot of. That's kind of like what the premise of the conversation was. It was like, could you imagine being in that room when those people were just like, "Hey, let's write a few songs," and then they wrote a song, and then it was an awesome song. Like that's how natural it was for those musicians to just be like, all right, let's do an album because we are all masters of our craft. All right, and okay, here's an album full of bangers, as the kids say.
So I guess Tom Petty is like a really like a classic American songwriter, huh?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Never really. It was pretty recently that I was like,
It's Tom Petty guy. You heard of him?
Writes a lot of jams. He passed away.
Like within the year, I think. Yeah, it was this year.
No, it was long enough ago that there was like tributes to him.
Oh, really? Let's take a look.
Yeah, because I remember the guys, the audio crew, if I'm not mistaken, the audio crew at the Paramount.
Oh shit, that was 2017. What?
Yeah, there you go.
Wow.
There you go. Because the audio crew at the Paramount was like Brian from Emmy on the Coast and Brad from Sainthood Reps and PJ from Lux Courageous, like all those guys. They did like a tribute to Tom Petty, I think. And like they did a tribute to him like in the founders room or whatever. And like the billionaires that hang out down there loved it so much that they like financed them to like go be a Tom Petty
go be a
fan.
thing. Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. I think that's the story. Maybe I don't know. I don't know or care, to be honest. I'm just so.
What bothers you the most at the moment? What's your biggest? What's the thing that hits the forefront of your concern every time you like stop and think about?
I don't care if you're transgender.
Oh, shit, sorry. Say again.
What's the thing? What are you worried about the most right now? What's stressing you out the most?
I just want to get back to life.
Okay.
And
what do you think? Is there anything that you can do? Let's say when you're cleared and COVID negative and such.
COVID negative.
What can you do to get back to regular life? What is one thing you can do that you aren't doing? Working, right? Probably.
What do you mean? I'm sorry. I'm like having a hard time understanding. Like my brain's like a COVID brain.
It's okay. What's something that you could do when you're able to get outside? You know, you can get outside or go in the car somewhere. What's something that you could do that'll make you feel like life is a little bit more normal?
Once I start doing shows again, you know. So.
And you did start booking shows and stuff, right? Did a lot of those get?
I had booked a bunch of. I was supposed to do a show Thursday, and then Saturday I was gonna go to an open mic, and tonight I was gonna go to an open mic, and Wednesday I had a show. But I canceled this show coming Wednesday and the show last week.
Wait a second. Hold on. I want to back up a second because you got the vaccine.
I got the vaccine on Saturday.
2 days ago.
No.
A week and 2 days ago.
Yeah.
And you tested positive for COVID post-vaccine? Right now?
Malone.
Is this a side effect of getting the vaccine?
No, this is actual COVID.
I don't understand.
I don't understand. What don't you understand?
Wait, hear me out.
Okay.
Hear me out.
I'm hearing.
You get a vaccine against a disease, and then a week later you get the disease.
No.
Okay.
Same day or day before.
Oh, so you just had the worst timing?
Worst timing.
Like the day that you go get vaccinated against it, you get it, essentially?
Yeah. So I was when I was getting my second rapid test, they were like, yeah, the doctor was like, yep, this is side effects. And I'm like, dude, it's been a week. I'm like, side effects, a couple of days. I mean, I'm
Uh-huh.
like unconscious. My wife caught it.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, not supposed to give it to your wife, right? Can't give a vaccine side effects.
Uh,
So here we are.
sorry to hear that. That is
Is there anything else you'd like to know about COVID?
no.
I have insider information.
I have it and information.
The I've used all these jokes already.
They finally approved service industry in Rhode Island to get the COVID vaccine. They pushed up all of the eligibilities, so I can get my vaccination starting a week from Friday.
Nice.
This
Go do.
that makes me feel a lot more positive about the situation.
COVID positive.
COVID positive. Unfortunately, I couldn't get a. So I go away next Friday, not this coming Friday, next Friday. I go to Las Vegas. My Vegas trip is coming up. I go away on the 26th, and the 26th is when they opened appointments for the vaccine. First of all, I wouldn't have gotten the vaccine the day I go away because if I had any side effects, I don't want to be like away from home and miserable. So I miss out on the first day of vaccinations, but I can come home, I can get it, and I can maybe start to work a little bit more or just be more comfortable about being at work. Because the other day at work, some lady, like older lady, I don't think I told you this. It was like she was like standing there after she ate her meal, standing up in the middle of like the dining room by her booth, like mask like in her hand and legit just coughing into the air, like just like and I was like, the server was like, and I was like, like this is where we're at a year later. There's people that are going out to eat, and then go ahead.
No, people are getting more careless.
Yeah.
Yo, dude, because the vaccine, because the rate is slowing, because of all the things, people are like,
all right, we're good.
like, yeah, like, oh, I don't give. And it's like, yo, the only person protected by the vaccine is you.
Right.
You can still carry and distribute the fucking disease.
It's maddening and it's frustrating and it's like, I was doing a little bit of reading just kind of about. I mean, it's all you read about nowadays. Just like this.
Remember when it was only Trump?
Yeah, I guess we're in a better spot.
And then it was like Trump and COVID, and now it's just COVID.
Yeah. Well, for me, my catastrophic thinking is how I'm not going to get my third stimulus check because I never got the second one. So every single day I'm just like, I'm not getting this one. Nope. Even though I updated all my information and the IRS has my new address and my bank account, I'm not going to get it because a friend of mine already got theirs. And I was like, on Saturday morning.
Already got this one? Already got 3?
Yeah. They were like, I got my stimulus check. It was deposited this morning. I was like, and they had just told me that they did their taxes like 3 days prior. So like, I was like, cool. I did my taxes on like February 19th. And I'm like just sitting here like every day, just kind of like still stinging from the fact that I never got the 600. Like that one was just like evaporated and the chances of anything of that happening are just gone. So I'm just like, all right, that's cool. I guess I'm not going to get this one either. Those are what I'm worried about. How I'm still going to catch COVID because people come into my work and cough directly at us with no mask on and no money because I don't deserve it because I work in the service industry.
Also, not also. Completely just about me. The first 10,000 isn't taxable.
Right.
But what if you're like super diligent and already paid?
Right. No, that's where I'm at.
I already paid.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. I also same spot. set up a payment plan because I don't have the extra $1,800 just to pay back the government at the moment, because the money they were giving me I've spent on being alive. So I set up the payment plan. So I read an article along with my COVID readings. I read an article about that exact thing, the tax break, the $10,200 tax break. If people already did their taxes for the year, wait to amend your taxes until a process is sorted out through the IRS, because the IRS recognizes that people have already done their taxes because they wanted their refunds because people are poor and people are struggling. But the $10,200 is definitely something that's going to add to the tax processing software, so that you can go back and you can amend your tax return and get that credit, so you're able to get a refund if that $10,200 credit would flip your owing status to a return status or whatever. It'll sort out in the end. But like anything with the IRS and the government, it's like, 3 weeks for this, then you process it, then it takes 6 weeks to process. It's like once one thing is messed up, once like the thing like you hope will happen by a click of a button doesn't happen, you're immediately in like 6 to 8 weeks of like waiting and processing, and nobody can give you an answer until God knows when. But there is a bright light at the end of that long tunnel, though, is that you can still amend your taxes. But you said you already paid your tax bill.
I already paid.
Yeah.
I already paid. And I have to file my state. I gotta figure something out here.
This time of year has to be wreaking havoc on everybody's mental health, man. It's
Just
like,
don't understand the system.
oh, did I tell you I got a call from the state senator's office because I reached out to the congressperson, because I reached out to the Congress representative for Rhode Island about the missing $600 stimulus check.
Yeah.
Did I mention that? Because then I got a phone call,
Yeah,
and then
you talked to the guy,
right, exactly, and he was just kind of like,
you were trying to bait him into like talking trash on the government.
Basically, yeah.
You're like, the government's a piece of shit, right? And he's like, I cannot confirm nor deny.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
That the government is in fact a piece of shit.
I did get a phone call from the IRS, and I missed it. Of fucking course I missed it. And it was a woman. She's like, I'm calling because of your recent inquiry that we got from your state representative's office about your $600 stimulus. This is the voicemail she left. She's like, if you have any questions, you can call us back at yada, yada, yada between these hours. The number that she gives, I didn't get any special treatment. The number she gives
six numbers.
is like the...
There's only 6 numbers.
Yeah, exactly. It's only 6 numbers. What's the last number? No, if
you need help, you can dial 1-800-7.
I'll have an answer for you exactly if you dial 7. It was the basic info line. Like, it wasn't like a special, like, this is my, it was like the line that I've called 15 times already. Like, so I didn't call it back. I was just like, you know what? I'll amend my tax return. I amended my tax return for the rebate credit, because I didn't do it initially. So that's there. I don't know. I think that's just going to knock off $600 of my tax bill, which is like, at this point, that's a win. Like, yeah, that's fine. All right, so I don't owe it. You get it. So the money that you were stimulating the economy with, you're just basically taking back, so you can give to somebody else, or give me and my $1,400 stimulus check. So you get a rebate on that one. I don't know. This is so much. It's like playing poker, man. It's like you win some here, and then you just give it back to another guy, and then 15 minutes later, that guy gives it back to you, and then you just give it back to them.
The whole time, the house is taking a cut.
There you go. You're right. Oh, man.
I'm paying for the right to be here and lose money.
That's it. I can't wait to play poker in Las Vegas, though. I'm very excited to
I'm excited for you, bud.
Foxwoods opened their poker room. They're not running any limit games, so I'm not gonna drive to Foxwoods to play 1-2 no limit like that. Rather stab my eyes out. It's like 1-2 no limit, 2-5 Omaha, and then like 20-40 stud. And like my stud game isn't that strong to play 20-40 stud, and I don't want to fucking sit around with a bunch of like wannabe pros and grandpas playing 1-2 no limit. It's like, so I was excited to maybe see that the 20-40 limit game was like back in action, but I think all the people who were regulars in that game have moved on to different things. So
Omaha is like a big thing, right?
Yeah.
Like that took over.
Omaha's pretty. Pot limit Omaha especially. It's like it's a degenerate game, man. It's so degenerate.
Yeah, that's really.
The swings in that game are gross. I can't handle it. Played it a few times.
I never got into that. It's no for me. No for me. Do you use product in your hair?
Right now there's nothing in my hair. Did you just ask if I had used anything in my hair?
Is it okay?
Yeah. I thought I heard you too quickly. But no, I don't right now. Nothing's in my hair. But I do if I have to go look nice, I do use a little bit of a clear pomade.
You just have a hair, like you have a haircut.
Yeah.
You get your hair cut. You have a haircut.
I have my hair cut. Yeah. This is my natural oils right here. I usually just use them to push my hair aside.
Yeah. I don't
Dude, did I tell you? Remember when I was venting about the DMV thing and then the taxes thing, and I told you a story about the person who
6 minutes ago or 2 weeks ago?
No, like 2 weeks ago.
Oh yeah.
Remember, like had an acquaintance who bought my car and
like remember 2 minutes ago?
Did I tell you that like that person reached out to me via message like the same day the podcast went up?
Wow.
And they could possibly be listening right now, and I don't really care, but
so they heard?
Maybe I don't know. It could be complete coincidence because the message was very just like, hey, haven't talked to you in a long time. Hope you're doing all right. I miss playing poker games. Hopefully I'll see you around. Like I haven't spoke to them in a very long time. And then like the coincidence of like of like me mentioning that specific person for a very not cool situation, and then like getting a message later that day like, hey, how's it going? Not even like a, hey, I heard you talk shit about me on the podcast. It was more just like, hey, hope you're all right. Like maybe it was like trying to like, I don't know, a like backwards way of kind of be like, hey man, here I am. Sorry, not even sorry, because they could have said that. No, it was just a really weird coincidence that mentioned this person who I don't mention that often, and then they popped up in a message. I didn't respond because I don't feel at this point that I want to interact, because that's all I can think about is how I got fucked over. But I don't do well with confrontation, so I just avoid it. It's healthy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a weird coincidence.
You guys don't have Starbucks.
We don't have a lot of them.
Right. I just watched you sip that Dunkin' Donuts coffee. Leah Bonema, hilarious comedian.
Okay.
It was one of those like, she takes me out, you know?
Okay.
She's one of the ones that helps me. We were not all the way up by you, but up there.
Okay. Connecticut-ish.
And we couldn't find a Starbucks for the life of us. We just kept like every Starbucks was in a hospital.
It's like inside something. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. It was like, we went to like 3 or 4 and they were all inside hospitals. And we were like, I'm not paying hospital parking rates.
I'm not going to break my leg to go to the emergency room just to go to the Starbucks.
So we ended up at a Dunkin' Donuts getting coffee, and that reminded me.
Doesn't New York have a million Dunkin' Donuts as well? Isn't Dunkin' Donuts in New York too?
Yeah, many Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah,
and many Starbucks.
Yeah, we Rhode Island is very low on the Starbucks. We're like Dunkin' Donuts every like on the main street where my house is off of. And it's the same thing as Starbucks. Like you can go onto one corner and look up the road and there's another one, but this one is literally like a 2-block difference. They're just on different sides of the street. So like people going one way and people going the other can get to them easier. You can literally stand in the parking lot, look up the street and see the other one, which is so fun. Just. And by the way, I got called out on drinking Dunkin' Donuts every day. I got a gift card for Christmas. So I got a large iced coffee back in December. And I use the same cup and I make my coffee at home all the time.
I too love. I'll get the Taco Bell.
The big guy from Taco Bell.
The big guy from Taco Bell.
Baja Blast.
Come home with my own ice and my own soda in it. Mm-hmm. I just like drinking out of that cup.
Me too. Yeah. See, it's just the comfort of the cup, man.
It's a comfortable cup.
Well, listen, we're coming up on the end of the episode. I wanna just go circle back and no, well, I want to just check on you and just see if there's anything that you want to.
It's not good, Rich. Don't look in there. Don't look in it. It's not good.
Well, I'm here to help if you need anything. I do say it. I do use your line on you all the time now. Well, not all the time, but I use your line on you and other people. If you want to talk about it, if you don't want to talk about it at all, just let me know.
If you want to talk about it, or if you want to talk about anything but it. I don't want to talk about it, and I don't want to talk about anything else either.
So take that.
It just feels like it's ganging up on me.
I know. You have to try for your own sake, and you have to try to see yourself on the other side of things. Take the thing.
I no longer know what it looks like.
Yeah, I know. That's hard.
I don't know what it looks like.
Well, take the win. Take the win on the unemployment thing. You're worried about it. You looked into it while we were talking here. You saw, I told you, and you're like, all right, good. You did like the little like whoo thing, like the little, all right, good. That's a win. You don't have to worry about it. So fucking kick that under the rug. All right, we don't have to worry about that.
Okay. That'd be nice. It'd be nice to not have to worry about that. And then, with any luck, my bankruptcy won't take my stimulus check or my unemployment. That'd be great.
No, it won't. I went through it. It just it's this outstanding debts that aren't college loans or college loans or medical debt. Medical and college loans can't be dispersed or whatever from bankruptcies. So
who freezes your accounts?
So when everything is finalized, the courts or whomever took care of your stuff sends notice to all of your creditors that you have filed and been approved for a bankruptcy. So they'll let everybody know, but you will still get phone calls for like a month or two for like late payments and all that stuff, because it takes, again, like everything nowadays, still in 2021, it takes forever for things to like cycle in and for things to get caught up. Because when I did it, it was definitely like I got approved, I went to court, everything was okay, cool, we're through this process, it sucked, But then for like a month afterwards, I would get like this credit card calling, this credit card. And you can answer and be like, I'm, declared bankruptcy, so we'll just wait for the paperwork to come through. Or what my lawyer told me to do is just ignore the calls. Like ignore any number that you don't recognize, ignore any number that you do recognize that would be a creditor calling.
Did your bank account get frozen?
Oh, your bank account. No. Why would your bank account get frozen?
I'm asking, why would your bank account?
It wouldn't get frozen.
I don't know, Rich. Why would your bank account get frozen?
You tell me, Neil. Why would it get frozen? No,
Are you familiar with Joe List?
That sounds really familiar. That does sound really familiar.
He does that podcast Tuesdays with Stories.
Yeah. That's why.
He's got this amazing bit where he says that when he was young, he went in for like some surgery, maybe tonsillitis, and they also took out his 2 front teeth because they're like his baby teeth or whatever. And then, like, as an adult, he went in for surgery, and he was like, you're not gonna like also take out some teeth, are you? And the doctor was like, why would we take out teeth? And he's like, yeah, I don't know. Why would you take out teeth? It's so funny.
I don't know, Neil.
I don't know, Rich. Why would they freeze my bank account?
I honestly think that only the IRS has that power to like garnish wages. I don't think a creditor or anybody can have that grasp. I only think the government has the ability to like do that awful thing, and likelihood of that happening is very low. So
I think if I owed the bank.
Yes. If you owed the bank. But I had Bank of America, and I had a Bank of America credit card that got cleared via the bankruptcy, and I was still able to have my they didn't take like what they could before the bank. You know what I mean? Like there was none of that like everything is separate. You know what I mean? Like there's like you still are allowed to keep the money that you have in the bank as long as it's not like, I mean, if you have stocks and shit like that, they look into that too, because that's money. That's like stonks. So I don't know, Neil. Why would they freeze your bank account?
Do you remember? Were you still here? Might have been gone.
What happened?
Todd. Theodore Lerone.
Mm-hmm.
Would call like everybody would call Dubin like Dubing Pong.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
And would add like O and K to everything.
Uh-huh.
And now I started seeing like those like stonks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Todd Lerone was so ahead of his time. Because even that band, Easy Tiger, Men, Women, and Children.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if that band came out 8 years later, they'd be Phoenix.
That's very true. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he's too cutting. He was too cutting edge.
Too cutting edge for the time. Yeah. They weren't ready for Todd Lerone.
They're not ready. No one's ever been ready for Todd Lerone. Todd Lerone, so funny. Jesus Christ. Man. All right.
Well, Neil, listen. I know it feels like a lot now. I know a lot of things I say are like, yeah, well, not going to happen. But I do wish.
I mean, I believe the words you say.
Yeah. You believe them. I hope you believe them.
I'm not a positive guy like you.
Yeah. Well, that's fine. You're allowed. I just want you to be all right. So if you need anything, let me know. And if you don't need anything, don't let me know. Wait, if you don't need anything, let me know too. Things will get better. Things just take that. Try.
I doubt it.
Stop. All right. I'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'll see you next